Alright, welcome to week 1 of the WELP, Worldwide Egalitarian League of Pokemon. Yes, week 1, getting it kicked off, finally getting to test out this team. And our opponent is Foxby, with this Shed Tail team over here. Can definitely be super scary if it gets going. A lot of setup. A bit top heavy. My prep was kind of lacking, I think, this time around. Again, very rusty. May have lacking play. May have lacking analysis. But I can feel it coming back around. But yeah, just trying to shake off the rust this week. Hopefully pick up the dub in the process. And yeah, so definitely we are at a speed disadvantage. Not only with that Deoxys, but with just in general, like he's got like a whole bunch of threats. That Mega Blaziken is a problem. Dragon Dance, Rayquaza could be an issue. We have ways around it. Like we have fast Pokemon too, of course. But our Fairy is slower and not all that bulky when dealing with his triple dragons, which could be an issue going forward. But we'll have to see. We do have, if we need it, Terra Fairy, Cofagrigus, stuff like that. We'll always find a way around it. And this week, I found a way around it that I don't typically use, but I think could be really cool. And that is going to be a full Trick Room offense. I thought about bringing a Scarfer somewhere, maybe Scarf Toxtricity, but it just didn't do enough damage. So we are going to go with Life Orb, Boom Burst, Terra Normal, Toxtricity. You know, a classic Toxtricity idea is that Terra Normal Boom Burst, but wow. Check it out. He has no Ghosts. He only has one Steel type. This should be going crazy into him. Overdrive should do a lot also into that Metagross. Encore, just kind of thrown on. Volt Switch could be useful as well. Yeah, Encore is in that fourth slot that we didn't really need. A real centerpiece of the team is going to be Cofagrigus here with the Darkinium Z Memento. Z Memento, basically like a Healing Wish, so it kind of functions like Hatterene. With that Trick Room Healing Wish idea. And our second Trick Room setter, kind of just, happenstance that we have one. Obviously wasn't attempting to go for that as a style, but it should work out with our Mega Diancie. That's the main idea with Mega Diancie, prevent hazards with Deoxys Speed. We've got a lot of EVs that should prevent us being killed by a Steel move. Either Meteor Mash or Flash Cannon should bounce off us. I think Modest Flash Cannon might be a problem. I couldn't get enough EVs for both. So that's the idea over there. And of course we don't have to Mega Up. I think if we don't Mega Up, then Flash Cannon will not OHKO the bulkier base Diancie. Primary Trick Room attacker, going to be Hydrapple, outside of Toxtricity, going to be Hydrapple with Choice Specs. Yawn is thrown on there. The other moves will hit everything. He also has no Fairy, and Metagross is his only Dragon Resist, right? Yeah, so that is definitely a primary way around these dragons. Flygon with the Terra could definitely be annoying, but when it comes to free Terra, I find you just kind of got to go with it and play around it when it comes. You can also, have an idea what's going into it. Like, I didn't really prep super heavily for Flygon because it kind of did the same thing as these guys as far as damage goes, and it didn't really feel like it needed to be prepped for as heavily. So Doge brought it in prep, and he brought that Terra Steel, which you would expect. That convinced me to take off Psychic Fangs on my Zamazenta and put Body Press, and also to bring Ho-Oh. I had a couple variants that actually did not have Ho-Oh. because Ho-Oh, you know, it is another Trick Room attacker here. I don't have minus speed, so I can be faster than Metagross outside of Trick Room. Yeah, I mean, it should be a good Trick Room attacker. Everything on his team has that rock coverage. I thought about Chardy, but I don't know if we were doing enough damage then. Life Orb with the Regenerator is a really cool idea, like it on Torn T and stuff like that. So this is cool. Also got Whirlwind to deal with that, as well as Roar to deal with that Shed Tail idea. And finally, we have Zamazenta here with not only Roar, but Iron Defense and Cobra Berry for our Dragon Ascent, as well as Brave Bird, Blaziken, and Acrobatics Roaring Moon. So should be a good mon to... I was thinking it could come in multiple times and be like a Z-Memento target, but in prep it kind of was like, you know, the end game mon that you kind of expect with that Dauntless Shield. Because I didn't really want to, you know, bring it in early and waste it, especially when Mega Ray was coming in more frequently. No, did I say Mega Ray? No way. Rayquaza was coming in frequently early, as opposed to, you know, the end game idea of a Blaziken. Yeah, so that's gonna be the team. Hopefully, you know, Trick Room. It's gonna be kind of dependent on me getting up 3 Trick Rooms rather than 2, because 2 is probably not going to be enough. So I'm going to hope to get one up with Kofagriz and then switch out, and then later do the Z-Memento idea. But yeah, hopefully this squad can put in work. It's definitely unorthodox for me. I didn't do my typical thing where like I do like a whole... I started the grid that I typically do, but I didn't do the thing where I look at every single mon and like go through all my checks and what, you know, his biggest threats and stuff. So it's a little bit it's not as official, not as complete a prep as I typically like to do, but I'm pretty sure I can put in work because, I mean, he just doesn't have a whole lot of defense. Like, Toxapex can be annoying, but like I have super effective coverage for it, as well as just this massive boom burst, as well as, you know, the electric coverage on Toxtricity. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Okay, and we do not see Flygon, so that could be definitely an annoying mon that we do not have to deal with. Anything else that, like, you know, I could really think would maybe even come? I don't know, maybe Roaring Moon, but it kind of is, like, I think I said in the PRs that it was a little bit redundant with Rayquaza as well as Flygon. Not seeing Flygon is also very good for Toxtricity because we can Volt Switch freely. I thought about bringing Thundurus for that reason. I had a lot of options, but these 6 mons just made the most sense, I think, together, and that's typically how we like to do it. So pretty much top 6 outside of Roaring Moon here. These 3 are a little bit unmonish. I mean, like, I love Pyukumuku, but it could have been an issue here. Definitely could have, but luckily we do not see it. But let's go ahead and start it off. The plan is to start off with Diancie and get Trick Room up turn 1. We should... well, that also, I mean, that's there for the typical lead DOS, but we should live anything from Sceptile as well. If he wants to go Sceptile turn 1, he can. Same kind of setup idea as us. Trick Room will help with that Shed Tail, and then we also we don't really want to eat the Grass move, but, you know, I calced it, the Grass move, even at least Timid, Leaf Storm will not knock us out, so let's go for it. Okay, it is certainly that. And the Leaf Storm is Timid. Woo, thank goodness. I mean, I kind of knew it would because he wants to... It's definitely, you know, speed oriented, so he gets that off. But that was pretty lucky. It's like I said, it's not necessary. I didn't want to switch to Hydrapple because, like, the Shed Tail is so obvious, but it is definitely lucky that we do live that. Even though the calc says we live it, but, like, I mean, you know, can definitely be modest if it wants to be a boosting item. So luckily we do not lose Diancie turn 1. One time I O-coded Diancie with like a Scarf Magneton turn 1, so, and then I lost the game later, so yeah, definitely, hopefully Mega Diancie can put in work. It's a little bit of a, I hope it's not a liability. It's a cool Mon, and I hope it does some cool things. But anyway, we go ahead and get our Trick Room up. We do not have Mega, and, oops, okay, so, this happens all the time when I do like a spoiler. I don't do it fast enough. Okay, so then the idea is, do I attack and do 50% of his health, or do I predict him to switch out and go ahead and baton pass out? Because I'm gonna baton pass out. Like he can shed tail after if he wants. It's not ideal if that happens, because then he has to switch initiative. But we want to go ahead and start utilizing our Trick Room. So I'm going to BP. And I'm also not going to Mega just because, well, I could have Mega, but I didn't want it to turn out that he was slower or faster. Yeah, that's slower than my Diancie. But that's kind of dumb because I didn't have a whole lot of speed on even my Mega variant of Diancie. So could have Mega'd here and BP'd out, but we just don't, so maybe that was not the best play. I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting something. But anyway, we do get the turn right, and we BP out. And because of my decision to not have a slower Ho-Oh, I cannot utilize Ho-Oh here, which is kind of annoying. Let's go ahead and check that calc. Metagross. Just do the bulky attack, set the max HP, and then my Ho-Oh. By the way, I forgot to like shiny and aesthetically gender and even nickname my Mons here, so it could be annoying. But yeah, it looks like Sacred Fire would have knocked it out if we were slower. So that's annoying. But we do go Toxtricity. This thing shouldn't be able to do anything to us once we Terra Normal up. I mean, I'm not really that scared of a prediction of Body Press or anything like that. I just don't think it's going to happen. Oh. He's AV. Okay, that is annoying. That is annoying. He does EQ. You know, obviously I'm going to Terra to prevent that, but like he probably doesn't want to Steel move into the electric typing. So that's annoying. That's not good. But if we Volt Switch, we should get enough damage for Hydrapple. That's just what we do. Stone Edge Mist doesn't matter, wouldn't have done anything. Toxtricity getting low, could be a Z-Memento target later. Really not ideal. Kind of wishing I went Silk Scarf. That was definitely kind of a hasty decision, just, you know, Life Orb more damage. Looked at some calcs, did some OCOs, didn't think about the Life Orb chip too much. I didn't think it would be a huge deal. We'll see if it becomes a huge deal later. Anyway, he gets the BP, doesn't do anything. We finish it off with Fickle Beam. No more Trick Room, though. So that Trick Room, our first Trick Room only ended with us taking one Mon and no further value. So that's really not ideal. We're kind of in a... but it was a really valuable Mon because now my Dragon moves and my normal moves are unresisted. So, pretty... Not terrible value. It's a good Pokemon to take care of. And I am just going to sack my Diancie here because it's not going to do much at this point. Like the one Mon that it's going to outspeed is it's going to do maybe 30% too. Maybe more than that depending on the EVs and check. But yeah, it was Earth Power was doing something like 33%. I don't think it was doing 50. So I didn't think it would do much at that point. So we get the we sack off Diancie, that's fine. And now we're going to go into Kofagrigus. We're going to bluff Will-O-Wisp. This would do so much to us if it was Choice Banded. So I'm really hoping that he does fear Will-O-Wisp here so I can get off another Trick Room. And then hopefully I can hard switch out into something. So hopefully he does switch out. I don't know if he's Choice Locked into this Dragon Ascent. He could most certainly be Scarf for Zama or something like that. So, good. But he does make the right move and go into Sceptile because now he can get a slow Shed Tail off. This is the one mon that he could Shed Tail up on. So maybe I should have brought like Body Press on Kofagrigus to prevent it, but I really, again, I wanted to start utilizing my Trick Room with my attacker, so my plan is to switch out hard after this, and it'll be into whichever one of these is, to me, less valuable, because he's going to go into something that's going to be able to take care of it behind that Shed Tail. So we're going to choose Hydrapple. I'm feeling like I checked all the Okos rolls, and Ho-Oh had more. Also, I mean, well, Hydrapple had some Draco Okos, but yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, I didn't want to, have to, roll for the Fickle Beam or anything like that. This was kind of a toss-up, I think, between Hydrapple and Ho-Oh. Maybe I could have done Ho-Oh instead, and then Hydrapple could have maybe got some unresisted damage off. It would be nice if I had like hazards or something. I always find getting hazards up, like I always think I have like a more valuable turn. It's probably not true, but it's tough for me to find a free turn to do that. It's not typically in my playstyle. But it could have definitely helped out Hydrapple here, as well as Ho-Oh and pretty much everything. But, Trick Room plus hazards is tough. You don't typically see it on the ladder or anything, so okay. Yeah, but here comes Mega Ray. There's a chance this doesn't Oko, but we're going to go ahead. We're going to get the Fickle Beam off, and it is going to Oko. That's unfortunate, but now we can go into Ho-Oh and start Brave Birding for free. Does 50, which is wonderful. Oh, red card? Oh, wow. Okay, that was really lucky. That was very lucky. So, yeah, if that had been anything else, we would have been in trouble for sure. We also are at very low health, so if there's like a gunk shot or something coming out, that could be a big problem. But he kind of telegraphed that was not the case over here. He could have been bluffing. You want to see the Dobg, but yeah. So I got lucky there, and I am going to be able to, on the last turn of Trick Room, Volt Switch out. There's no way he can get a Shed Tail off anymore, so we took care of that. But he got the free turn out of it, and he got the kill out of it, so it worked out for him. Obviously, he wanted to like set up behind it, but that was not going to happen, especially because Trick Room is fairly free for me. So here's Ho-Oh. I went Ho-Oh instead of Kofagrigus because not only does I think there need to be more time for my final Trick Room, because he has a lot of mons left, but I did the calcs. He, based on his Leaf Storm damage, he was invested all the way in that. He's definitely going to have some speed also. And there's no way that he could knock me out with any kind of Rock Slide. So we go Ho-Oh, and then we can pick him off. And indeed, he doesn't even attempt a Rock Slide. He just Leaf Storms. So yes, Ho-Oh will pick it off. And took a while to pick the mon that he wanted with rock coverage here. And he's going to choose Deoxys. Okay, so obviously I can't really go into anything because I want to be at 100% health with Kofagrigus. Because I really need to get this last Trick Room off if I want to have a chance. Definitely a flaw in my prep was considering this thing as an offensive option versus Zamazenta in an endgame scenario. I did not think this would be an endgame Pokemon. I thought it would definitely be a lead, like always, so that was definitely bad on my part. But he is going to go for the Meteor Beam. He does connect, and he gets the Spatak boost with it. That's fine. I made the right play staying in there. I couldn't go Zama or anything, even on a Meteor Beam, because then he'll just hit me afterwards with it. But then we do go Kofagrigus, And I don't remember if I calced this or if I just got lucky, but Psycho Boost at +1. Same deal with that Diancie. Wow. Definitely not fully calced with regards to Deoxys speed. I didn't really think it was that big of a threat. And I had the notion that Meteor Beam could come for sure. Yeah, this could be an issue. I really started only thinking about like a setup variant, even though like Meteor Beam counts as that, I suppose, once I got into the game, and then I saw, oh wait, he could shed tail back into Deoxys, and then Nasty Plot is what I thought. But yeah, it was a bigger threat than I thought. Okay, but we are gonna get the Triku off. Very fortunate, and then we're gonna get that Z Memento and start trying to break down his whole team with. That's not good. Rocks coming up there is not good. Yeah, he doesn't have a Focus Sash because he uses items, so I figured that. But now we got to come in with Toxtricity and start breaking. At this point, I realized Life Orb was a mistake. Silk Scarf, I think, would have knocked everything out anyway. Maybe not Tox at the health that it has. But the Life Orb chip is going to become a problem because, let's say I break 3 of these mons. I kill 3 of these mons right now with Boom Burst. I'm going to be at 58% health. Even if, and then I'm thinking that he wants to save Deoxys speed to attack Zamazenta. Now, I also realized at this point that he doesn't know if Zamazenta is crowned or regular form. So he could be debating, because he took a long time in this turn, whether he wants to bring in, maybe he thinks Rayquaza is better against it. That's probably not true. Maybe he thinks, but more likely he thinks Blaziken is better against Crowned. So he could be deciding to choose. It's kind of a coin flip at this point. Does he want to choose Mega Blaziken in the likelihood that it's crowned, or does he want to choose? It's not crowned, by the way. You saw, or does he want to choose Deoxys here to beat the not crowned variant? But at any rate, okay. So let's say I get down to 58%, and then this comes back out. It can knock me out, or basically I would go Zama and then come back in, but then I would come back in on rocks, and then I would be in range of dying to a -2 Psycho Boost. Yeah, definitely an issue there. Let's say the scenario that happens, so I'll get to that. But anyway, okay, so it takes a long time. Is he gonna give me this? I really am hoping he's gonna just go ahead and give me this. He makes the right play, and honestly, I don't think this is the right play. He should have sacked Ray first, and then gone into this and got like some chip. Done something, you know, but he goes ahead and he sacks Toxapex, even though it would underspeed here. So maybe not the right play on his part. Okay. Oh my gosh. Looks like he's gonna give me Deoxys. Okay. So it looks like he's committing to Blaziken. Very good for me. Very good for me. Indeed. No Focus Sash. We go ahead and we take it out. And then Mega Ray, like we would think. And the extreme speed damage doesn't really matter. He was never gonna knock us out, and even with Band, you can see it wouldn't knock us out. And yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's say, all right, 38, and we just used 30% of health, so we would be at 50% of health if not for Life Orb. Now, Mega Blaziken can do 50% of my health. Let's check it. Let's check it. Okay. Because I was looking at it earlier with like 88% of my health, but that I wasn't factoring in the extreme speed. So let's take a look. I gave myself max defense on all my Pokemon rather than investing in really in an HP because he's so physically biased that I figured I might as well do that. Again, not a very exact prep, but definitely more helpful, I think. Mega Blaziken. Need to be adamant. And it's looking like, yeah, Flare Blitz. That's 88. Okay, so 50. 50% of health. Okay, so when I was looking at 88, I was looking at it, it was doing 28% recoil here. He probably wouldn't want to close combat either way. But that would put me in range of killing it with one +1 body press from Zamazenta. So that becomes relevant here. But 16, because I'll show you Zamazenta. What we have would be doing 78 to 93. So at minus 16.1, so that's 83.9. Come on. I'll just say 84. 62% chance to OHKO. Okay, so yeah, again, yeah, it still would have been relevant. So maybe I'm spoiling when I'm saying would have and would have, but you've seen the thumbnail. Something very interesting happens on this last turn. He goes for Stone Edge, which was a ridiculous idea. I mean, it was kind of smart though because of what I just said. He played pretty well, and that was kind of part of it. But I mean, he still probably thinks he can deal with Zamazenta, right? I don't know, but anyway, Stone Edge was definitely the right play. But of course, he's only at 20%, so or Toxtricity's only 20%, so he probably should have just Flare Blitzed. So yeah, never mind that. Flare Blitz was the right play because if he misses there, he dies. So okay. By the way, I went for Encore here in case of Protect or like a very, very, very. I mean, there's no way he would ever SD, but like in case of Protect, I did go for Encore. I don't remember if Encore goes through Protect, but Encore was the play regardless. And also, if he misses that Stone Edge and I Encore it, it's game over. So Encore kind of came in handy. Didn't come into play, but it was a good move to have, you know, with all the setup, and would have definitely helped there. But anyway, here we go, final showdown. This happened once in prep as well, so I was like, all right, just don't mess it up. All I gotta do, Iron Defense, and then Body Press. Because he can't knock me out with anything, even if he has Brave Bird. I have my Koba Berry. We should be very much chilling. He SDs. Okay. He's kind of in desperation mode, I think. But yeah, so basically, I just got a Body Press and win the game. Okay, well, you know, at times like these, all you can do is laugh. Yeah, well, I guess that's why it's called the WELP. Yeah. So, in all honesty, you know, amusing things happen in draft a lot. I've come a long way to. I mean, I was pretty bad up in here, like, but like, you know, get the salt out quick. That was. I mean, come on, you know, you gotta be salty for that for a second. You gotta be. But yeah, no, it's fine. It's Mons. I've played enough where I've seen stuff like this. It's good content. Wow, though. Come on, damn. Wow, but indeed, like I said, God's plan does indeed manifest through HAX. From being super angry at even games where I played like crap, losing them in the past, I've done it. I've done it all at this point. So. Yeah, GG's. He did play pretty well. I did have some good luck earlier when I went into Toxtricity with that Toxapex red card. Could we have done anything really differently? Well, I mean, we were gonna win though, so so I don't know. You know, like, I mean, obviously we could have mitigated having to end a game in HAX in some way. Maybe use Scarf somewhere instead. If I have Scarf, Greninja here instead, we win. Zama was kind of a mon I was building around in general though, so I probably would have. I don't know if I probably would have sent out Gren if I had it alive and also Zama. But yeah, it was a fun game. It was fun to use. Playstyle that I don't typically. I thought it went pretty well. Going into the Sceptile to get that slow Shed Tail off was really smart, and it really paid off because obviously if I have a Hydrapple here as well, then I probably still win. I don't remember if, well, we can check the calc. Well, this will be the last thing we do. No, we don't live that. Okay, or +2. So, but anyway, yeah, that was a very interesting game. By the way, this is his team. Had Boots on Ray, interesting. Does have Stone Edge. No rock coverage over here like we thought. I don't know what Vacuum Wave was for. Probably a Gren. This is a really interesting set because it does have the rocks. Yeah, Pex. Luckily, we had enough pressure that Pex didn't have their real chance to recover. And the AV Metagross also really came in clutch. So, you know, it wasn't an undeserved win for him. I mean, it was, but it was a good game. So, all right, we got it. I think we shook off the rust fairly well, and hopefully, you know, our prep can be a little more complete next time. Yeah, that was a good game, and it was not. He was like deserved, and it's like he played pretty well, so it was deserved sort of in that sense, but no way. that was a moral victory if I've ever seen one. But again, interesting game. Fuck. Okay, goodbye.